We'll get to probably what the GD should have been later on. First, I'll give you a feedback on how each one of you performed. Okay. So if I start with Amit. Amit, you were almost silent for the first half of it. Your presence was not there for the first half, right? And when you spoke, you were not sure. Everybody was expecting. You took the lead to speak, but you were not sure as to what your, the first delivery itself had a lot of hesitation in between. So you made a point, but you started off with a hesitation, right? When you're starting late, make a punch there, at least, right? And make your presence felt in the first half. That's kind of, important. If you take a GD of 15 minutes, at max, if there are 8 people, you would get a chance thrice to speak maximum. So make an entry now and then, so that first half your presence is there, the last half your presence is there, something like that. Sahil, you were again silent for the first half. You did not come in at all. You went with the topic like globalization is not westernization. You brought in a new perspective to the GD. That was pretty neat. When you spoke the first time, you said that you guys are mixing up globalization and westernization. You brought a perspective. You should have harped a little more on that. You did a very good job there. You elaborated on that. You could have brought the entire GD back to the track if you had elaborated a little bit more. Because everybody was talking about the westernization is equal to globalization. You brought a perspective that no, it's not equal. After that, they picked up on your topic, right? So you could have harped it a little bit there, and then everybody would have changed topics probably. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Yeah? Okay. Ashutosh, you opened, which was very confident. You came in very nicely. You referred to 1991, say like globalization has come in, and you referred to a little bit of statistics, but you didn't throw any numbers. You just brought in a year, and then you went back to how elaborate things have been in terms of westernization and rural India divide. You came in with the rural India divide almost thrice. And when you summarized, you again summarized on the rural India divide. Once that you did not get to speak, you referred to Vaibhav by name, in order to catch his attention, which was again very nice. I think even you did that. Vaibhav was speaking in between, so you referred to Vaibhav by name, so Vaibhav was supposed to keep quiet and listen to you when you were, so that's good. If you know the person's name, you can, when you call him by the name, he kind of like listens to you again. So that happened twice. Even you did that with, I guess, Ashutosh's this thing, but you had quite a lot of silence there. So you could, but not always you would get that silence, right? Since it's a small panel, everybody else was keeping quiet. If it is slightly a larger set of people, you would not get that silence. So for the two of you, candidate 1 and 2, you were making the best because the silence was available to you. Probably if the silence was not there, you would have lost out in the crowd, right? Whereas I think 3 did a very good job of getting the attention back to him. I am speaking, you now listen, right? So that happened. You got interrupted twice, but you continued. Good, right? Because Vaibhav interrupted you once, and he interrupted you once, Ashutosh, right? So you continued, which is very good, because it didn't look aggressive, but because you continued, the other two kept quiet. But had that not happened, what you would have done is another story altogether. If both of you had spoken and there is a fish market created, probably what you did was not the right thing to do. But in this current situation, what you did was perfect.
So if at all he would have continued, I should have.
Depends, right? Did you get a chance to speak or not? And then you did another thing which was very good is you asked everybody to define globalization, westernization in the beginning, which people did not adhere to. And when he came back to the globalization point, you hit back with, I asked you to do this earlier, right? So it kind of like brought attention back to you. Okay, this guy was asking us to do it. Probably we should have done it. But still the team did not pick up the tip. You were not discussing is India getting westernized. You were just confusing modernization, globalization and westernized put together, and each one of you was sticking to your own point, which is very evident when you guys summarized. Each one of you summarized only your point. you did not, summarizing is not telling what you said earlier. Summarizing is telling what happened in the GD, which you guys, none of you did actually. All of you repeated your own point. You repeated globalization, you repeated urban, rural thing, right? If you notice, all of you repeated your own points. And you started off very nicely with giving examples of how westernization is impacting each one of you, including details like ring ceremony is getting affected. You said that. That was very nice details. You should have had a little more on that. You gave away your point very easily. It's a competitive world. Sorry to wake you up. Isn't it? You were cut twice. You just gave up the chance. And you were, the first time you were making a very decent point that, you know, westernization is impacting us and how it is impacting us. You said that it is impacting us socially, the food we eat, and you came to the culture part and then you gave away the chance. So you did not end your point there. You did not conclude it well. So probably you should think a little more in terms of what you want, because not all GDs will give you that time to think earlier. When people are giving you time to think, make 2 or 3 very strong points which are very different from each other.
There are so many aspects to this particular topic. Nobody spoke about values. We spoke about clothes. We spoke about, nobody spoke about, I think, language. English is a common language used today. When we come to values, you talk about personal values. Is individualism becoming more important than groupism? Because, you know, Western culture is more about individualism. We didn't speak about family values. In India, family is so important. Family values are so important. Because westernization means what? If you wear different clothes, you don't become a different person. Your values, when they change, you become westernized. Isn't it? So at a broader level, I think you could have brought so many different colors of westernization out. Second thing is, the benefit for you was that the number of participants were only 5. So you knew that your turn will come. I mean, even if you didn't know, I mean, you know, everybody got fair chance to speak. Coming to individual feedback, number 3, you started the GD and you started well. It's important to start first, but if you start badly, it goes completely against you. And if you start in a good manner, it goes completely in favor of you. So throughout the GD, you spoke very aggressively. Your benefit is that you have a very high level of voice. So when you speak, the others automatically become silent because you have a very high voice. And you are aggressive and you had good points. You put forth them very nicely. But sometimes you are hurrying while speaking, as compared to number 4, for example. Number 4 was very calm in putting his points. You might have observed it. Anyway, different people have different styles, so you should not try to adapt to his style, but maybe a point to ponder over. Number 4, you made new point. See, as a panelist, what we look for in a GD is that who is bringing new point. You made a new point, number 2 made a new point. You made a point that what is westernization. So I was expecting you to speak about values and you speak about all these.
Actually, written down culture as one of my points, but I didn't put it.
So bringing a new point is very important. That's a very good thing that you did. And you brought the GD to a particular, you know, destination, saying that why don't we define what is westernization, which was a very good point, which was not happening